Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to explore one of the most timeless and thought-provoking questions of all. Why did God create us and the entire universe? This question has inspired debates and discussions across centuries, cultures and disciplines. Philosophers, theologians, scientists, and everyday people have all tried to answer it in their own unique ways. Before we dive into today's discussion, I'd like to invite you to check out my previous video titled, Is There a Creator? In that video, we looked at several different viewpoints on the existence of a creator. I promise that once you've seen that, you'll be even more curious to learn about the deeper reasons behind creation. So, if you haven't seen it yet, please watch it now and then come back here as we take our discussion a step further. In today's video, we're only scratching the surface of a very deep and complex topic. There are many different approaches and explanations, each with its own set of reasons and ideas. What I'm going to share with you are some of the basic yet essential ideas that help lay the foundation for understanding why creation might be a deliberate, purposeful act. Think of this as the starting point of a long and exciting conversation that we plan to continue in future videos. Let's get started. God as the ultimate creator. One of the central ideas in understanding creation is that God created us because His very nature is to create. Consider a painter. What does a painter do? They paint. Or think about an author. They write stories. These actions are not just random. They are part of the very essence of who these people are. In the same way, creation is a natural, necessary expression of God's being. To put it simply, from the perspective of wisdom, God is what many call the necessary existent, a being who is pure, complete, and perfect in every way. One of the hallmarks of this perfect being is the ability to create. Imagine trying to describe a perfect being that lacks the power to create. It would be like describing a rich person who has no money, or a brave person who's always afraid. That simply wouldn't make sense, would it? God's act of creation is not a random accident or a byproduct of some natural process. Instead, it is a purposeful, intentional expression of His divine nature. Every part of the universe, every star, every planet, and every living creature is a result of this perfect creative impulse. It's like witnessing an artist's masterpiece. Every brushstroke, every color, every detail is there because it was meant to be, reflecting the artist's vision. In this case, the vision is divine. When we consider this, we see that the act of creation is not something that happens by chance. It is a deliberate act, an outpouring of perfection. God created us and everything around us because in His nature to create is as essential as a painter's to paint. This is one fundamental reason why many believe that creation is an intentional, deeply meaningful act. God's loving and merciful nature. Now, let's add another beautiful layer to our understanding. Imagine for a moment the love of a parent for their child. Every parent wants nothing more than to see their child grow up healthy, happy, and successful. They nurture, guide, and support their children every single day. Whether it's a teacher cheering on a student or a coach encouraging an athlete, that nurturing love is at the heart of growth and success. In the same way, God is like the ultimate loving parent. Not only did He create us because it is in His nature to create, but He also created us out of deep, boundless love. Think about how a parent feels when they see their child taking their first steps, learning to speak, or achieving something special. That joy, that pride, comes from knowing their child is thriving. Similarly, God desires that we flourish. He wants us to grow spiritually, emotionally, and even materially, in a way that leads us to success, both in our everyday lives and in our journey toward the hereafter. When we build a relationship with God through prayer, worship, or simply reflecting on the beauty of life, we are engaging with a Creator who cares deeply about our well-being. Our achievements and our happiness reflect His nurturing love. Just as a parent's heart swells with joy when their child succeeds, God's creation is meant to lead us toward an abundant and fulfilling life. This loving aspect of creation tells us that our existence is not just an expression of divine power, but also an act of deep, caring love. It is this love that encourages us to become our best selves and to support one another in our journey through life. The limits of our current understanding. Even as we share these profound ideas, we must also acknowledge that our current human understanding is limited. Our brain, our senses, and even the most advanced scientific tools can help us explore the physical world, but they often fall short when it comes to grasping the deepest metaphysical mysteries of creation. Think of it this way. Imagine a baby in its mother's womb. The baby exists in a warm, safe environment, but its senses are not yet fully developed. It cannot see the bright, vast world outside or understand why it is in the womb. The baby simply grows and learns over time, gradually acquiring the ability to perceive and understand its surroundings. In a similar manner, our current minds are like that baby. With the tools we have now, we can only see part of the picture. We might be able to understand the basic idea that God created the universe because it is in His nature, but the full complete mystery, the ultimate purpose behind creation, remains hidden until we reach a higher level of insight. This analogy reminds us that our journey toward understanding is a gradual process. Just as a baby eventually learns about the world through growth and experience, our understanding of these deep metaphysical questions may evolve over time. For now, we're exploring the basics, knowing that there is a vast, wondrous mystery still waiting to be fully discovered. Human creation versus divine creation. Now, let's take a moment to compare human creation with divine creation, because they are fundamentally different processes. When we, as humans, create something, we always work with materials that already exist. Think of an artist sculpting a statue out of clay. The clay is there, and the artist molds it into a beautiful form. Or consider a writer who composes a story by choosing words from an existing language, or a chef who mixes ingredients to create a delicious meal. In every case, what we create is a rearrangement or combination of things that were already present. In stark contrast, divine creation is something entirely different. God creates out of nothing. This concept is known as the creation ex nihilo. There are no pre-existing parts or raw materials that God assembles. Instead, He brings everything into existence through His own divine will. Imagine two scenarios. Human creation. Picture a mosaic where an artist carefully places individual tiles to form an image. Divine creation. Now imagine a sunrise that appears out of the darkness without any need to gather pieces of light. It simply unfolds, fresh and new out of nothing. This difference is essential. While human creativity is always limited by the materials and ideas we have at our disposal, God's creative act is limitless. He does not mix existing elements. He brings all things into being in a way that is completely transcendent. This is why divine creation is seen as an act of pure, unbounded perfection, unlike our human creations that are, however beautiful, always limited in scope. Let's take a moment to recap everything we've discussed today. We started by asking the big question, why did God create us and the universe? And acknowledge that there are many different approaches to this question. We explored the idea that God created us because His very nature is to create. His act of creation is a natural, purposeful expression of his perfect, flawless being. We looked at how God's creation is also an act of deep nurturing love, much like the care a loving parent shows for their child, aiming for our growth and success in this life and the life to come. We then recognize that our current understanding is limited, much like a baby in the womb that cannot yet see or comprehend the world outside. Finally, we compared human creation, which involves rearranging existing materials, with divine creation, which happens ex nihilo, out of nothing, highlighting the limitless and transcendent nature of God's creative power. I want to remind you that what we've discussed today is just the beginning. We've only scratched the surface of these profound mysteries, and there is so much more to explore in the future. I invite you to share your thoughts, insights, or even questions in the comments below. Let's start a conversation. If you found this video thought-provoking or helpful, please give it a like and share it with others. By sharing our insights, we can all contribute to a deeper, better understanding of these timeless questions. Thank you so much for joining me today on this journey of exploration. Don't forget to subscribe for more discussions as we continue to delve into these fascinating topics. Stay curious, stay inspired, and I look forward to our next conversation. See you in the next video.